Yay. Okay, go get this document ready. I'll cut this part out. Oh, one other thing. I need to make sure we're side by side here. Gallery view, speaker, yeah, gallery view. Okay. And got that. And we minimize this so I can read. And okay. Here we go. Welcome to the Leader of You, Leading Beyond Limits. Awaken, you matter. This ongoing summit is about one thing, you. It's recognizing that you matter and awakening to the truth that you have the power to lead your life, break through your limitations, and create a future you always wanted. Over the course of this event, we will dive into the beliefs, habits, and actions that shape your life, both consciously and unconsciously. Many of us are held back by limiting beliefs we don't even know exist, beliefs formed in our childhood that drive our decisions, actions, and ultimately our outcomes. The summit is designed to help you awaken to these hidden forces and break free from them and align your actions with the person you are truly meant to be. And with that, I am so honored to introduce my friend, Michelle Ralls from Show Me Nourish. Michelle and I met during the transformative hardcore leadership experience where we connected through an intensive journey of personal growth and leadership development. From that moment, we built a long lasting relationship, a great friendship centered around a shared passion for nutrition, health, and empowering others. Michelle's story is deeply inspiring. As a former nurse, she faced a near death experience, collapsing on the floor during her duties, and she told she wouldn't recover. Refusing to accept that as a reality, she transformed her life, much like my own experience. Her journey from adversity to thriving has shaped her into a powerful leader in health and nutrition, as well as an exceptional transformation coach and educator. And as the founder of Show Me Nourish, Michelle combines compassion, expertise, and relentless drive to support others in reclaiming their health and well being. And it's with great admiration that I welcome my friend, a leader in health, a compassionate contributor, and transformational force for positive change. Please join me in welcoming Michelle Ralls. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, William. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you. I'm so appreciative to be here.
I am honored myself, and I'm humbled to have this time that we can share together and help our audience grow and learn things they may not know, and hopefully bust some beliefs that are limiting that they might know either. So, why don't you start telling us a little bit about that story, what happened during that period of time, and what resulted in where you're at now? What was that big change that happened?
So, back on January 14th of 2014, I had been dealing over the past 14 years with chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and I collapsed that day on the nursing floor. And so, knowing that I had been working with a team of oncologists and local doctors, my husband rallied the troops basically and said, we need to have a meeting. So we did. When I arrived, I was in a lot of pain. I was suffering at that point. We had been doing everything, all the Western medicine that was possible at that point. So 3 of the doctors came up and said that their suggestion for how this was going to work would be they would place me on palliative care, then we would transition into hospice care. And the best thing that I could do was to make funeral arrangements so that my family didn't have to do that for me and it would be less of a burden for them. You can only imagine, knowing me now like you do, you can only imagine how upset I was and how devastating that was to hear for anybody to be told, or to know that an actual doctor is playing God is the way I looked at it. And being a nurse, now for 35 years, it's been very important for me to be on that side of wellness and health, be there for the doctors and, back them. But I didn't feel I was being backed. I felt like I was being given up on. So that day I fired 3 of those oncology doctors. I kept 2 of my primary and pain doctor. And we continue to move forward. I said, I'm going to drop out of nursing. I'm going to move into my nutrition degree. I'm going to drop out of all the Western medicine. I'm stopping everything. So we stopped everything that day. 19 medications we quit that day. And we moved into just when I needed pain medicine and things like that, moving me into that transition. I dove deep into nutrition at that point. I went back and started taking even deeper nutrition classes. And we moved into growing our own food at that point in time. So as of today, I am almost, as of January 14th, I'll be 11, I'm sorry, January 2015, I'll be 10 years, I'm sorry, January 2025, I will be 10 years, I'll get this straight. 10 years, cancer-free, completely cancer-free. So I'm
Well,
excited about
thank God for that.
right. And I did this all through food. We did not move forward with medication at all. I started growing my own food, started diving deep into that. And today, that's what I do. I show people how to use food to heal, treat, and prevent chronic illness and disease.
So we're getting back to the roots, and you and I are old enough, and our parents actually started in our parents' age that all this genetic food, engineered food back in the 70s started coming about, and we started migrating. If you look at it, it walks in a little succession, little successions. Now we have the power to engineer all sorts of stuff, and nothing's really resulted good out of that except for disease over time.
We
And
talked about we're the product.
yeah, we are the products, and eat our Wheaties, and margarine that replace butter, and things that started being processed foods. And
That's right. That's
you
right.
know, and that's really a shame. So, if you want to talk about that a little bit, have room, have space for that, because it's just it's now coming to the point in our lives that like we're looking back and said we were heavily marketed to and programmed
We
that
were.
this was healthy.
We were. So back in the 70s, and it even dates back a little further than that, because back in the late 1950s, the TV dinner was introduced.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
That
definitely.
was a huge
Our,
market at that point when people started seeing the ability to take a TV dinner,
mhm.
which my understanding was a little high priced according to the date and time. But they marketed to those individuals who were in the changing industry, right? You had women coming
Mhm.
out to working, they were coming out of the homes,
Yeah.
now, needing a little more help in that respect when it came to coming back home, right? They're coming out to work, they're coming back home. We're still expecting moms to come to the table, cook, do all the above. TV dinner was going to make that easier. And when they saw the ability to see how much that was being, capitalized on even over time, it just continued to grow. Oh, well, we can do this. Now we can add this.
Mm.
Now we can give you even more convenience. And that's what has come to be today. And you and I, are the generation of that happening and them seeing what they could do with the food,
Hmm.
but also what they could impose upon our own bodies.
Exactly. I know back in the 1970s, the FDA approved a lot of this type of processing, which they should have had the foresight, or really there should have been some sort of collection of money to pay for the diseases that have come about today, and all sorts of heart disease, kidney disease, and all the other diseases. And now we're paying the price for that. But you know what? That's history, and we're not about stories. What we are about is what's today, and we live today now and moving forward.
That's right. Life is now.
Yep.
Life is now. So we move forward now with moving into how can we actually help everyone see the value of, from my perspective, see the value of a farmer,
Hmm.
the value of how we can bring the farmer back to the table. And that's what I'm
Yes.
doing. That's my mission,
Yes, it is.
bringing back the farmer to the table. So things were different back in the day, but the practices really haven't changed.
Right.
processing that's changed.
Yes.
So we need to move in the direction of eliminating the processing, and we need to be more direct farm to table. Now, I know that that's not capable in all directions, but it is possible if we can come together collectively and create a way. And I have very much so come to the table to create a way. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I know that's not the main topic, but we can briefly touch on it if you want. But I'm in agreement with you. The more we go direct to the farmers, the more we're cutting out the middle, and more we're building up the community. So the things like when COVID happened like that, we're not looking to get containers out of the sea and put into our docks and then transported across the United States to land in a big box grocery store.
Right.
So yeah, so go ahead and touch on that a little bit so the audience knows about your vision because I really embody that and I like it.
Thank you. So, again, the mission that I have set forth is to bring real food back to our communities. And as I mentioned, we are going to house a warehouse where food will be grown
Mm.
right there at your local community. And then you can come in and get all the local food that is grown right there in that warehouse. You can pick that up. I have even established ways for people to have all real food put into a container. They can pick it up, take it home, cook it, and they can have a meal in less than a half an hour. So it's a really nice opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it. But you're right. The real topic is about the blind sides that we have here that
Mhm.
we're not mentioning that we need to really discuss. And I look forward to bringing the farm to table to everyone in the very near future so they can be looking for
Yeah.
them.
Well, we will definitely have another session on that. And you're right that that's already you're already helping people with that, like you said, and that's a blessing to get them on the right path. But what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about nutrition today? Yeah, to bring this back into the topic of the discussion.
Which is huge. This is what the big picture really is here. I want everybody to really understand. So one of the misconceptions is that you go to the store and these are fresh fruits, these are fresh vegetables. It's packaged in a container. How bad could it possibly be? And honestly, it's not good. So the bottom line is that you do need to be aware of your food. So I'm going to use my husband as an example because he gave me a great opportunity yesterday. And it just happened, things happen for a reason, right, William?
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
yesterday he had a huge tomato and it's probably about this big. It really was. And then he had another tomato and it was only about maybe this big. So about half the size. And I asked him, I said, sweetheart, I said, can you tell me what the number is on that great big tomato? And he read it off. It was four something. And I said, well, what's this one here? And he was like, it's four something. Well, it was 4.8 and one was a 4.6. What people don't understand is there's a difference in these numbers. And these numbers tell you many things in the sense of what kind of toxins, or I'm sorry, pesticides would have been used on those individual tomatoes,
Interesting.
how they would have been processed or how they are actually housed. These numbers tell you specific things. So if you're seeing a 3, a PLU, which is a code that the store uses, if
Mhm.
you're seeing a 3, that means that that's a food that has been genetically modified in
Ah,
some way, shape, or form. A 4 will actually tell you that it is more of a homegrown vegetable, but more likely has had some type of pesticide use or some type of bug use on it so that it didn't get infested, right? And then you have your 9. Your 9 is your organic. And your organic is what, of
mm,
course, you would like to tend more to go to. But here's another blind spot or misconception. And that is the fact that there's really in the store no difference when the produce comes in. It is supposed to be in scheduled trays of how it should be put out to the store when it comes in off the truck. But as we have learned, which I have a very shocking episode coming out about this, I'll tell you about it later. But we have
cool.
learned that when actual production places like Aldi's or Walmart or Target, when they're bringing the food into from their trucks to the store, we have learned that the food gets mixed up and it doesn't actually come to you the way you think it is. So those PLU numbers don't come on the actual vegetables and fruits until it comes to the store.
Mm.
So when it's being transported from warehouse to store, it's getting jumbled up in the process. So we really
Uh-huh.
don't know exactly how that food is, in other words.
Can't really trust the label with the
Unfortunately
content.
not. Unfortunately not. And that is one of the misconceptions that's out here. People really believe that it's got a PLU of 3. People are hearing this over and over. They're very familiar right now. I even see people walking throughout the grocery store now, looking at numbers, seeing, different values. I'm very happy to see that because that tells me the industry, the people are paying attention. That's great. But there's still this misconception that even though it's got a 3 on it, it would be what we would consider, not very well of what we want to eat because it has been modified in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
But then moving over to a 4 and saying, okay, I'll take this one instead, or moving over to a 9, let's go organic. You really don't know in the store that it's either of those.
Agreed. And that's not the only instance of things that are going on in the background either in the distribution system. Unless you're intimate into that business, you just don't know what we don't know that happens in the background. So, for me, I go, from my perspective, I go to a local co-op and I meet the farmers directly. And I can go find chickens, get eggs, get the chicken, get beef, get pork. I know that's not available in big cities a lot, but there are outer areas that do have farmers for the most part on it. So it's just a gain of knowledge. Do I want to talk to Walmart's representative or do I want to talk to a farmer and have some feedback directly on the quality of food and give them feedback is a way of saying, yeah, we can work with that or make changes on that. So from your experience, I think you're finding the same thing with what you're creating as well. And how do we teach people how to gain clarity and confidence around their food choices is really
Sure.
big education thing that we need
Yeah,
to really promote.
absolutely. That's a big thing. So if we move along with the fact that the stores are actually providing what they say they're providing, which we really right now, that's where we have to trust our food, right? Because if you're not like yourself or myself, reaching out to local co-ops or local farmers, everything I eat, everything I, consume is grown or I have farmers anywhere and everywhere that I can actually obtain my food from. And that is a service, of course, that I offer for people. But the bottom line is not everybody sees that or knows that. So, therefore, if you're coming to the store, let's use the value of the store for where it's at. So,
Mhm.
I encourage everyone to use the organic side of food, grass fed, no hormones, no antibiotics. These are things that you should be looking for. And of course, we always say shop the outside, not the inside of the store. So, for sure.
Yeah, gotcha. Um, yeah, so more education that's out there, and actually, it comes down to the information and knowledge that people have. It becomes a way of being to expand the options that you have as well, because we're kept out of the loop with a lot of information intentionally, and that's the thing that bothered me the most over these past 20 years is we've given so much authority to what we believe are people who really care for our best interest. And we found out that's not the truth. And so we're seeing this transformation, we're seeing this awakening, this undercurrent going through our society now saying, uh-oh, we've been kind of misled here and I can't trust this anymore. In
And
fact,
yeah, let's go a little further into that just a
yeah,
little. So
sure.
even if, speaking to your parents today and speaking to my parents today, coming to them with this kind of information, even my own mother says, well, Michelle, we had to have some trust in the system because this is what we had.
Exactly.
So it's a brainwash.
Mm-hmm.
And now today, learning what they learned, now they're not willing to accept that responsibility of what has been put out there.
Yeah, we've been the guinea pigs, and now we're seeing the results of the guinea pig.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were. And now that's what you have. You have the disease processes. We have cancer at higher rates than any other
Mm-hmm.
country.
Yeah.
We have a liver disease process that is higher than any other country.
Yep.
We have the highest rate of autism, ADHD, ADD in any other country.
Yep.
And we are the biggest country processing food.
Yep. In fact, to go on top of that one, a lot of our foods are not allowed anywhere else. They
Absolutely.
consider it poisonous. And then the foods that we're getting, that's another, again, topic, but a lot of things that we have eaten have gone through a brain barrier.
That's correct.
That's and being able to attack your brain. That's where you're getting a lot of these Parkinson's come up. You're getting a lot of, of the other type of Alzheimer's and things like that. So it's a big awakening call, but guess what? The human body is beautifully engineered by God, and it can heal. You're living proof of it, and so am I.
Absolutely. You can heal, you can treat yourself and prevent your illness and diseases. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. So I love that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So really now it rolls into, what this whole show is about, being the leader of you, taking action, committed action for yourself and make a difference in your life, learning how ways to create freedom and wellness in your health. And so, both of us went through this training in transformation to lead other people. So, let's apply that into how do you help people reach their health goals and their values of, what they're trying to reach in their life. So this is really part of what you're truly doing out there in the field right now in creating that leadership.
Absolutely. So one of the things I do is listen to people. I listen. I want to hear what they're actually going through. I want to hear what they've been through. I want to hear what they're saying. And then in return, I want to offer them the opportunity, of course, to take a look at other options. Again, we have this brainwashing that has continued down the line, right? So people want to be heard.
Absolutely.
And there's so many people who actually want to take action, but they just don't know how in so many different ways. It's not just in their nutrition, it's in their daily life, in the way they meet people, in the relationships that they have. They want to take some type of action and be a leader. And one of the things that I absolutely enjoyed about our time in transformation was learning that process and how I could step up and be a leader in my own community. That's what I had so many blind spots. And this transformational process gave me an opportunity to not only see the blind spots, but to turn around and move forward in a vision that I didn't even know I had. And as that vision came up and it just kept, evolving and enveloping more and more, here we are today, helping nurses stay in their field. This is my mission, is helping nurses stay in their field and stay nutritionally healthy and be here to help us be in this industry where we're being disease driven.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, nurses are probably one of the most abused jobs there is out there. I mean, literally, they take a lot and they endure a lot, and they're physically exhausted. I mean, my wife has been one as well, and she got COVID, and it knocked her out of being able to do that anymore. But the fact is, I've seen it. There's a lot out there hurting. But if you can actually, and you are talking to the nurses, they're the ones that really are wanting to nurse people back to life on it. So the more we contact and touch their lives, the more they're going to touch other lives. And this is what we're truly up to, folks, is a giving game of life, and to bring back things that are set us from free, rest our limiting beliefs, become our full potential. And understand there's been a lot of misinformation out there that we believe is true, but is not the truth.
Right.
And it's hurting us. It's no longer supporting us anymore.
That's correct. It's not supporting us any longer. And that's what we need. My mission was, if I could start with the nurses, then we can move that into our communities even more so.
Exactly.
Nurses see that they can be valued much more than they are today, and they can see how they can actually be that voice for their patients, for their clients, however industry they're working in, because there's several different industries of nursing. But the bottom line is, we're still nurses. We're still here to educate. We're still here to heal. We're still here to treat. We're still here to give them information to prevent. So if we can start here, we can take that out. And that's my goal.
Yes, and that's a noble cause, and I'm glad. And I'm seeing even within our coaching program, which, by the way, audience, is Hardcore Leadership. Both of us will have a link that you can access or contact us. Either way, both of us, and we'll talk to you more about it. But mindset goes into a big part of this in understanding what our blind spots, our limited beliefs. Again, if we don't know those, we usually get stuck and we keep getting the same results. We get the same results. We get frustrated. And then next thing we know, we're burnt out. We're tired. We don't want to do it anymore. There's no joy in our life. So all this plays in together. So going back to you, Michelle, do you want to offer some practical tips, action ideas that you want the audience to do? How they get in contact with you to get maybe consult and things like that. You want to touch on that real quick?
So again, if you want to reach out to me and have further conversation about your health or the journey that you've been on or tried, whatever the case may be, you can reach out to showmenourish.com, and we'll be more than happy to schedule a time together and meet up, and we will chat about that. So some things I want to really talk about are, start from the beginning. Just start from the beginning, because as William and I both spoke upon, mindset is everything. If you're really ready to make some transformational change, number one, our leadership program is amazing, and we'll do that in a heartbeat to give you what you need to move forward in a direction that is of abundance. I speak upon mindset with all of my clients, speaking in leadership. And I also move in the direction of understanding just the basics of nutrition. I mean, there are some simple basics, drink plenty of water, and no, you don't have to abide by all those guidelines. And remember that the food you're eating now, that's great. What I do is show you how to take the food you're eating now and actually make it into a more nutritional way of eating it. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm only giving you an opportunity to see the better value of it so that you can actually heal, treat, and prevent chronic illness and disease. That's what I have for you today. So, yes. Thank you, William.
Well, it's great. I mean, things like simple things. If you believe in God, which we are, if you're not, that's great, and we're glad you're here. And if we pray that you come to find Him. The thing is, if you look at the foods that are naturally grown, you'll notice like broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms. They represent what? Your brain.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so there's a lot of clues in the food of what you eat and what it supports.
Well, look at
And
us.
for me, yes. So it's and it was designed that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was designed that way because it made it simple for us to identify and relate to our own bodies. But I know when I eat correctly, I'm fueling my body with the proper stuff. I perform better. My mental clarity is better. My energy level comes up, and my energy level just comes up along with it. So when my energy is vibrating at a faster rate, and things get accomplished a lot more, not just in doing of things, but in my entire being of who I am.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Michelle knows very well about this.
In the being, be in the being. Yes. Be in
Yeah.
the being, don't be in the doing. That's just the mechanical side. Get into the being of who you are. You know who you are already. Let's just get you moving in the direction of understanding who you really are, because you've been this way for so long. You just didn't realize it.
Yes. So I think we're about coming to the end of our time. Is there anything else you'd like to contribute, Michelle, before we close out?
I just want everyone to take an opportunity to really see the value in not only who you are, but in what you can accomplish, where you can go, what you can do, who you can be, and what you can have. And there's so many reasons why you're here. So take the opportunity and, move forward with it. If you've been suffering, stop suffering. Let's get you where you want to be.
All right, everybody in the audience, make sure you book time with Michelle. Just in the case of, to find out information, make better choices for your life. You matter. Each of you have a gift and you can share your gift. And by doing so, you brighten this world. All right. So take care of your health, invest in your health, invest in leadership of yourself.
Right.
And with that, I'm going to offer to the audience to definitely upgrade to VIP. The reason for that is not everybody's going to have time to see this, for one, and that's, none of us can. So you go to VIP, you have lifetime access to where you can go back and review this information. I find myself when I go to summits that I find it very informational. I only catch part of the summit, I will do that. So I can watch it over and over again on it, because there's little things that are being said in our words that we don't catch it the first time, but could be transformational when we do catch it and understand. And then also that you can also connect, like I said, if you're interested in leadership, that's something I do as well. I'm teaching course on the value of values to help people align with their true core values and not what has been adopted values in this life. And I help with alignment. So once you start understanding, you know yourself, you know what your true values are, you're starting to align. Even now we're getting to the point of what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. What's your purpose? What's your direction? What's your mission? What's your vision? So be on the lookout for that. It'll be offered also within the summit. You can click and contact me about that. So folks, we love you very much. We appreciate your time today, and we pray that this has been beneficial, awakening, that it will transform your life. So with that, until next time, God bless. Bye-bye. All right, I'm going to turn it off the recorder real quick. And here we go. And stop.